Welcome to the International Policing Podcast on capacity building and development. Today, we're diving into a crucial element for achieving sustainable peace in international policing contests. Capacity building and development, CBD for short.
Ah, yes, CBD. These strategies are essential for creating lasting positive change, assisting in building and reforming host state police agencies, and they're a vital part of a viable exit strategy for international policing engagements.
We often hear about capacity building, but what does it really entail? What are the intricacies of the CBD process? What impact does it have?
Well, it's not just about training individuals, it's about enhancing aptitudes, resources, and relationships within an organization so they can effectively achieve their purpose.
So essentially, fostering an environment where host state law enforcement agencies can thrive and function independently. And this must tie into the dual role that international policing plays.
Indeed, we have that immediate need for operational support, providing those short-term solutions to pressing security issues. But equally important is the long-term impact achieved through capacity building and development. And these two priorities, they're deeply intertwined. You see, consider the security development nexus. A certain level of security is required to implement development initiatives effectively, and successful development contributes to long-term security and stability.
It sounds like a cyclical process, where each element reinforces the other. What specific tangible changes can we anticipate seeing as a result of well-implemented CBD efforts?
The ultimate goal is to foster host state law enforcement agencies that are democratic, law-abiding, human rights compliant, and gender responsive. And these agencies, they should prioritize human security, ensuring the survival, livelihood, and dignity of all civilians. This approach emphasizes a people-centered style of policing, comprehensive, context-specific, and prevention-oriented. Imagine a police force that is truly integrated with and accountable to the community it serves.
That makes a lot of sense. Can you give some concrete examples of the positive outcomes we might observe from such an approach?
We typically see a number of positive outcomes. This includes increased confidence in both the police and state institutions, enhanced legitimacy and good governance, improvements in community safety and security, greater accountability and integrity within the police force, and a more professional police service overall.
And these benefits extend beyond general improvements to also include operational capabilities as well.
Precisely. CBD initiatives often lead to enhancements in operational capabilities, the establishment of normative practices, and the development of a culture of continuous improvement. It's about creating a system that's constantly striving to better itself.
So CBD is a multifaceted approach with wide-ranging implications. But what are the foundational principles underpinning a successful capacity building and development process?
Three key principles are crucial. Local ownership, ensuring the host nation is invested in and leads the process, fostering a sense of responsibility and sustainability. Collaboration, emphasizing the importance of partnerships between international actors and host state agencies, creating a shared vision and approach. And finally, self-management, empowering the host nation to manage their own security and development, building long-term resilience and reducing reliance on external support.
These principles seem to center around empowering the host nation to take charge of their own future, guiding and supporting them, to equip them with the tools and skills they need to succeed independently. Can we delve a bit deeper into the actual CBD process as not a one-time intervention, but rather a continuous cycle, right?
That's correct, a continuous cycle. And we can break it down into 6 distinct stages. First, we have the situational analysis, involving a comprehensive assessment of the existing context, needs, and challenges. Then we move on to objective setting, prioritization, and performance framework, where we establish clear goals, define priorities, and set up mechanisms for measuring progress. This ensures everyone is working towards the same vision.
So having a clear roadmap from the outset is crucial. What follows these initial stages?
The next stage is planning activities, where we develop specific strategies and actions to achieve the objectives set in the previous stage. This involves considerable collaboration and consultation to ensure the plans are relevant and feasible. Then comes the implementation phase, where those plans are put into action. This stage requires close monitoring and coordination to ensure things are on track.
Sounds like a very dynamic process. With constant adjustments and adaptations along the way, how do we evaluate the efficacy of the implemented activities?
The next stage, evaluation and adjustment, is crucial for just that. It involves assessing the effectiveness of the implemented activities and making any necessary adjustments. This iterative approach ensures that we're constantly learning and refining our approach. Finally, we have the transition phase, where responsibility and ownership are gradually transferred to the host nation.
This final stage focuses on ensuring the sustainability of the process, making sure that what has been built can continue to thrive, even after the international presence has scaled back. This entire process, from initial analysis to eventual transition, needs to be viewed through multiple lenses, correct? We can't simply focus on individual police officers.
You're absolutely right. A successful CBD process requires us to consider three essential perspectives.
Let's take a closer look at these three perspectives.
A successful CBD process requires us to consider three essential perspectives: the enabling environment, the organizational level, and the individual level.
So it's about understanding the broader context, the inner workings of the institution, and the individual actors within that system. Let's unpack each of these perspectives. Can you explain what we mean by the enabling environment?
The enabling environment refers to the broader context within which the police organization operates.
So things like the political landscape, the legal framework, the availability of resources, the influence of other stakeholders.
Exactly. Essentially, it's about understanding the external factors that can either facilitate or hinder the effectiveness of the police.
For instance, a stable political climate and a robust legal framework would create a more favorable environment. Conversely, issues like corruption or a lack of political will, those could present significant obstacles.
Precisely. Within this enabling environment, we then need to look at the organizational level. This focuses on the internal structure and processes of the police organization itself.
Things like their internal hierarchy, their standard operating procedures, their internal oversight mechanisms, their communication channels, their policies, training programs, systems for accountability, all of that.
Yes, all of that. A well-structured and well-managed organization is far more likely to be effective and responsive to the needs of the community.
It's about creating a culture of professionalism, efficiency, and accountability within the police force itself. And finally, we have the individual level, which brings us to the human element to this equation.
Exactly. This perspective focuses on the individual police officers, their skills, knowledge, motivation, values, their behavior. Ultimately, the success of any police organization depends on the individuals who make up that organization.
So investing in their training, fostering their professional development, ensuring their well-being, those are all crucial aspects of the CBD process.
Absolutely. And it's not just about their technical skills. We also need to consider their leadership qualities, their communication abilities, problem-solving skills, their ability to work effectively within a team. It's about developing well-rounded officers who are equipped to handle the complexities of modern policing.
This sounds like a truly holistic approach, recognizing that sustainable change requires attention to all three levels: the environment, the organization, and the individual.
And it's important to remember that these three perspectives are interconnected. A supportive, enabling environment can positively influence the functioning of the organization, which in turn can empower individual officers to perform their duties effectively.
So it's a system where each element influences and reinforces the others.
Precisely. To illustrate this interconnectedness, let's consider a hypothetical scenario. Imagine a country emerging from conflict, where the police force is in dire need of reform.
Okay, I'm picturing it. A fragile context, where trust in the police is low and their capacity to provide security is limited.
Now, let's say international actors step in to support a CBD process. The first step would be to assess the enabling environment. What's the political climate like? Are there any legal frameworks in place that support police reform? What is the level of public trust in the police?
So, understanding the broader context before diving into specific interventions.
Exactly. Based on this analysis, we can start to address the organizational level. This could involve restructuring the police force, developing new policies and procedures, establishing clear lines of accountability, and investing in training programs that focus on human rights and community policing.
Laying the groundwork for a more professional and accountable institution.
And while these organizational changes are being implemented, we can simultaneously focus on the individual level. This could involve providing individual officers with specialized training in areas like crime investigation, conflict resolution, or community engagement. It could also include mentorship programs, leadership development initiatives, and efforts to improve officer well-being.
So it's about creating a comprehensive and integrated approach that addresses all three levels: the environment, the organization, and the individual, to achieve lasting change.
And this interconnectedness is crucial for sustainability. If we only focus on one level without considering the others, our efforts are unlikely to be successful in the long run.
It's a reminder that capacity building is not a quick fix, but a long-term process that requires a multifaceted approach and a commitment to seeing it through. Now, before we wrap up, I want to revisit something we discussed earlier, the concept of local ownership. It seems to be a recurring theme in successful CBD initiatives.
Yes. It's absolutely fundamental. Capacity building cannot be imposed from the outside. It must be driven by the host nation itself.
It's about empowering them to take ownership of their own security and development, fostering a sense of responsibility, and ensuring that the changes made are sustainable in the long run.
And this sense of ownership is crucial for several reasons. Firstly, it ensures that the solutions implemented are tailored to the specific context and needs of the host nation. No two countries are the same, so a one-size-fits-all approach simply won't work.
It's about respecting their unique challenges and priorities, and working with them to find solutions that are both effective and sustainable.
Secondly, local ownership fosters a sense of buy-in and commitment from the host nation. When they are actively involved in shaping the process, they are more likely to take pride in the outcomes and to work hard to ensure its success.
It's about moving away from a donor-recipient dynamic and towards a genuine partnership where everyone is working together towards a shared goal.
And thirdly, local ownership is essential for sustainability. International actors can provide valuable resources and expertise, but ultimately, it's the host nation that needs to carry the process forward. If they are not invested in the process, if they do not feel a sense of ownership, then any progress made is likely to be short-lived.
It's about building their capacity to manage their own security and development, ensuring they are equipped to face future challenges, and to maintain a stable and peaceful society. So local ownership is not just a nice-to-have, but a fundamental principle that underpins the entire CBD process.
Absolutely. It's about empowering nations to build a brighter future for themselves and to create a world where international policing interventions eventually become unnecessary. It's a continuous journey, and we're constantly learning and adapting our approaches, drawing on lessons learned from past experiences, and innovating to meet the ever-evolving challenges of international policing.
This has given us a great overview of capacity building and development. We've explored the process, the importance of local ownership, and the significant impact that well-implemented CBD can have on fostering sustainable peace and security.
It is crucial to ponder how we as practitioners in the field of international policing can strike a balance between the immediate need for operational support and the long-term vision of capacity building and development.
So how can our efforts today contribute to a more peaceful and secure tomorrow?
How can we ensure our efforts today contribute to a more peaceful and secure future?
We encourage you to reflect on the principles and perspectives we've discussed today, and consider how they can be applied to your work in the field.
Remember, sustainable change requires a long-term perspective and a commitment to empowering host nations to take ownership of their security and development.
Thank you for joining us for this in-depth look at capacity building and development. Until next time, stay engaged, stay informed, and stay dedicated to building a better world.